Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk about the crit knife and how it still works, kind of. So this is my bod build, critical hit chance build, and if I just fire out one clip of sniper ammo, you can see I get around about 3.9-ish million damage. Now all my buffs are down there, so I'm going to wait for them to disappear, and then we're going to try it again with the throwing knife and kind of see how much damage I can potentially get, but it's random. See, 3.7 million on that one. 3.7 on that one. And then 3.99, nearly 4 million on that one. So what is happening here? Now, previously the crit would just absolutely annihilate, and then on top of that, the bleed would replicate and kill everything, because the critical itself would announce the bleed amount, and that bleed amount would keep happening. But now we have the penetrator augment being damage to the impacted target has a 30% chance to be a critical hit for 5 seconds. What this actually means is that whatever you attach this to will only have a 30% chance of a critical hit. If you have a critical chance build anywhere, shape or form that's above 30%, this knife, when you attach it to someone, will actually bring down your critical hit chance down to 30%. That's why for me it's a bit random and all over the place because of the bloodshot aspect as well. So you can see, like, it's just completely random for me, and that's because even though it's at a 30% standard chance, it's probably more often or not I'm going to hit that bloodshot, which makes the damage higher and lower. So if I do attach the critical knife to them and it's a flat 30%, for some reason I seem to more often or not get the actual bloodshot happening. Now obviously this is with all the buffs as well of my actual class, so you can see it just keeps going up and up and up and up, and now I'm back down. So it's hit and miss with the critical knife now, but why did they do this? Because all they have done is ruined a whole augment that is never going to be used ever again, except for maybe very niche particular builds. So what could they have done differently? Well, it's simple. The main problem of this was the bleed build, because you'd be able to stack up crits and then that would announce what the bleed amount is, and then that was what was ridiculous. Now obviously it works as well on other builds, you know, no one's saying that that doesn't happen, but it wasn't that broken on other builds. It was only broken on the Vex build. So what could they have done? Well, it's simple. Here it says damage to the impacted target has a 30% chance to critical hit for 5 seconds. What I absolutely would have done here is I would have changed it to damage to the impacted target has a 100% chance to double the damage of a shot for 3 seconds. So here you get just a quick burst of damage. It's only for 3 seconds. You know, you can obviously get up and make your fire rate faster and stuff. So if I was to do this and I was to do this and then penetrate knife, you can see how quick my bullets come out. That's the shotgun version of it. So those 3 seconds, I'd get pretty much like one clip out, which will do some big meaty damage. You could even have it do double damage for 2 seconds, because then you could just set up, you could throw out your knife last and then start shooting and get that huge damage. However, they just made it pointless. They made it useless. The penetrator augment as well. For me, the name of it, penetrator, meaning going through something, to have it do double damage instead of crit damage, logically in my head makes more sense anyway than it would to be a critical hit. Like, for it to be a critical hit, it needed to be more like a lightning rod where it sticks into the person and then your damage does critical hit damage on the place that you've thrown it. I don't even know how to get it out of my head, but in my head, penetrator augment should be more damage obviously, but it should just be actual damage dealt rather than crit hit chance. Okay, so what do I mean by it kinda worked? Well, obviously my bod build is built for that bloodshot, where randomly that bloodshot can actually happen due to a crit. It's a 33% chance, so the critical knife does help probably like 4 times out of 10. Other than that, it's just going to be normal damage. But if we look at something like the Bonnie and Clyde, so if I fire out all 18 of these bullets, you can see that we get 375,000 or so damage. And if we use the penetrator knife, the damage of the knife also is what, 8,000. we fire out a full clip, we only get 373,000. So I've actually just done less damage due to the crit knife. Now the crit knife slightly helps my build with the bod, but it's not worth having over probably another grenade like the fire pot. So very, very disappointed in what they have done with this build. It just, with the knife, sorry, it just does not seem like it was the right choice. They should have just found another way to, they should have just changed the whole thing completely and just made it a different perk. So I just don't know. I don't know how they thought this was a good idea, because now the penetrator augment is completely irrelevant. Like, it just, there's no need for it at all in the game. It can't fit into any build anywhere, because what it does now is just dramatically makes the game worse. It makes your builds worse. Like I said, there might be a very specific niche particular build that it will work with, like the bod build that I just showed you. It's random that I get the critical chance. It's 33% chance to get the bloodshot to activate. With the critical knife for those 5 seconds, there's probably a very small infinitesimal chance that it helps my build. It's just weird. The decisions they have made with some things, like, I get it, I get having to nerf it, I do, and it should be nerfed. It should have just been changed into something different, because it just did not need to be as pointless now as it is. Absolutely silly choice in my opinion. And with the events as well and how bad that is, I made a video about that earlier. I just don't really have much faith in them anymore. I really don't. I think the game is just not where it should be or could be. I think it was very much just a wasted opportunity with this event. Now, all the other nerfs and changes and buffs and that, brilliant. I haven't gone through them all yet, but they've made the game more interesting in that aspect, because all of those builds that were just kind of like brain dead easy, now you have to kind of think and change and hope for, you know, you find out how did I miss that many shots on there? Find a good build or build a new build. It actually makes it interesting, because it's like, okay, now I can put some time into figuring something out. But in general, I think this whole event and stuff has just been a huge miss. And the changes that they have made, while some of them are good, I think it's just a sour taste in the mouth of what they've done. So I am not particularly happy with this event and DLC. Let me know what you're thinking down below. Thank you for watching. I've been Easy Now. You guys have been awesome.